I've really got to get better at doing these. It's been too long since my last video. To be honest, I've been very busy in my personal and professional life, so I'm going to try and get back on a rhythm and start making more videos. I hope you enjoy it. This one is going to be fun because it's the summer vinyl tag for 2024. Got 20 questions. Going to dig into them. I'm Chris. This is Late Night Dead Wax. So yeah, 20 questions. Let's get into it. First question, an album or song with summer in the name. I picked Y&T. This is the Down for the Count from 1985, featuring the hit Summertime Girls. What a great song, and what a great album. Mine's a club edition, but Summertime Girls. Second question, a latest heavy pull. This is a record that, if I'm understanding it, something that I've really wanted for a long time, and finally got my hands on it. I went with Cinderella's Still Climbing. This originally came out in 1994. It was their fourth and last studio album. It was their weakest selling record, so I understand why it took so long to get a reissue, but it only ever had the first one. So when MOV put this one out, I pre-ordered immediately. It had the single Hot and Bothered, which was in a movie. I can't remember what movie. Was it a Bill and Ted's, or maybe one of the Wayne's Worlds? I don't remember, but it was. I recognize the song. I know the song. I knew the album. If you know what movie that was, drop it in the comments. Thanks. Number 3 was Whack-A-Mole. Most people were just reaching back and grabbing out of their collection. Mine's kind of spread out. So what I did was I went in Discogs and just hit show me a random record, and it showed me Heart, Bad Animals. This was from 1987. It was the follow-up to the self-titled album. It had the humongous hit Alone, which you couldn't get away from. I love this album. I'm also a big fan of Heart from the 80s, along with from the 70s, but a lot of people view some of these records as they're weaker, more commercial, but I love this record. I had the cassette. I wore the cassette out, riding my 10-speed, listening to Bad Animals. And speaking of animals, number 4, an album cover with an animal on it. I picked Alice Cooper Killer, 1971, fourth studio album from Alice Cooper. Had the song Under My Wheels, is probably my favorite on it. Just a great record, and it's got a snake. So there's your animal. An album with a great story. God, I feel like all my records kind of have some fun stories, but I decided to go with my copy of The Downward Spiral from 9 Inch Nails. This is an original U.S. pressing from '94. The thing about these is they were only ever promos, so this is a promo copy. We didn't get a original pressing in '94 on vinyl unless it was a promo copy here in America. So this is my copy. The story that goes with it is I stood in line at the record store to get a copy of it on CD, which I did the day it came out. Huge 9 Inch Nails fan, and at that point I was switching over to everything I was buying was CDs. Can't take these in the car. So I ended up at a record show, ironically looking for CDs, and somebody had a copy of this. They wanted $30 for it, and I couldn't believe it. And but I really wanted it in my collection for the records that I was keeping. All of my 9 Inch Nails I kept from back in the day, and couldn't believe I paid $30 for this. But super cool to have, and now it is consistently one of the most valuable records in my collection. So jokes on me, $30 ain't much. So number 6, an album that we would be surprised to see in your collection. boy, I got a bunch of those. There's some crazy. In fact, I have an entire section that I call Strange and Absurd. But I thought this was a fun one. I am one of the few people that bought the Pauly Shore and the Krusties record. Don't get me wrong, it is a beautiful record, and it was a Record Store Day exclusive. It got pushed back before. I was kind of excited to hear it, and it ain't great. It's fun. It is a fun listen. It's Pauly Shore being Pauly Shore. His backing band's not bad. I don't think anybody's ever going to say or ever said that Pauly was a great singer, but it is a fun record. And it was Record Store Day last year. Picked mine up from Spin Me Round Records, and they say volume 1. I hope they don't do another volume, because I'll probably feel obligated to buy it. And like I said, it's not a great record, but it is a surprising one because I don't think many people bought this. Number 7 is Cheap Heat. So these are records that are still going for an affordable price, but are great records. And I went with the Police Synchronicity. This was their last album that they did together. And I'm sure you're not going to be able to see, but the first pressings, at least as far as I know, they were all in this translucent purple or gold. Sounds incredible. They sold so many copies of this, so they're still readily available. You can pick a good copy up for $10, and sounds great. Chock full of hits. It was everything coming together at the end for the Police. It was a great record, and yeah, Cheap Heat. A 45 or alternate format. I went with the 7-inch from Ghost. This came out. It was reissued in 2023. That's when I got my copy on this dark purple. Super fun. It's supposed to be in Ghost lore from 1969. It has the A-side, Kiss the Go-Goat, and the B-side was the viral song Mary on a Cross, which really helped propel them. And so yeah, there's my 7-inch. I know I say this in a lot of my videos. Here we are at number 9, favorite movie or documentary biopic. And of course, it's going to be Joan Jett. I think I've had Joan Jett records on my channel more than any other artist. So anyway, the biopic was from 2018 called Bad Reputation. It's super cool. I recommend you check it out. Even if you're not a big Joan Jett fan, it's still a pretty cool documentary. So, of course, I picked Bad Reputation to hold up here. The album, which was her debut album that came out in 1981, all Joan Jett's good. This is no different. The movie's awesome. So, yeah, there's my documentary. All right, so number 10, halfway there. This is the heavy one, a box set. I picked the Fleetwood Mac alternate collection. This was a Record Store Day release in 2022. It's got 6 records in there. It's all alternate versions of the 6 records from Fleetwood Mac after Buckingham Nicks was added. We got everything from the self-titled all the way through Tango in the Night, all alternate versions of each song on each album. Good stuff. When they were doing them individually, I was extremely disappointed that I did not get a copy of Rumors, the alternate Rumors, because I have a little bit of a problem with the album Rumors. I can't seem to buy them enough, but I got another copy in here, alternate Rumors, along with self-titled, Tusk, Live, Mirage, and Tango in the Night. Really cool box set. Number 11, most trashed record in your collection. For me, that is the Beatles 62 through 66, the Red Album. This is my only copy of this. I picked it up at a Goodwill for less than $1, and I had to buy it, and it is just absolutely trashed. Like, it is so scratched up, but it plays through. It is the noisiest record I've ever heard, but it plays through. No skips. It's one that I've been meaning to upgrade, and I just never seem to see a copy at a decent price anymore. It's crazy how this one and the Blue record, the Blue album, just went through the roof as far as finding a good copy for a decent price. I mean, I can still find $15 ones, but they probably look like mine. And so eventually I will find it, but this is definitely the most trashed record in my collection, and both records are bad. But I'll keep it for now because, like I said, it doesn't skip. On to number 12, a local artist. For me, I went with Suddenly Tammy. They were out of my hometown, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. This was their first and only record on Warner Brothers, their major label debut. It was We Get There When We Do. This should have been huge, but it got no label backing and almost no support, which is a real shame because they are incredible artists. It's a 3-piece, bass, drums, piano, singer. Think kind of Ben Folds 5-ish, but with a female singer and some really just creative, just songwriting in general. Big fan of this record. Their first record, which was self-titled on Spin Art. I'm still trying to get a copy of that. I have it on CD, but I really like the vinyl copy, so I'm still on the lookout for that. But I do have this one, and Suddenly Tammy from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Number 13, an album from a faraway land. I wasn't quite sure how to do this. I didn't know if I should find, like, I think I have some Japanese pressings, or if I was looking for the actual record or for the artist. But I actually just picked this record up a few weeks ago, and it was a huge one that I was happy to add to my collection, so I decided to show it. It's Shotgun Messiah. They're from Sweden. I know there's a lot of bands from Sweden. In fact, I've got quite a few records in my collection from bands from Sweden. But like I said, I just got this one. This was the self-titled from 1989, glam metal, just great stuff. Mine is an unofficial pressing because these are pretty hard to come by, but it is an absolutely amazing record, and it was one I was excited to get. So Sweden, I guess, is how I'm going to go with a record from a faraway land. All right, 14, a soundtrack. This was a really easy one for me. Anybody that knows me knows that this is one of my favorite movies. My favorite movie is Slapshot. There is no soundtrack for that. But a close second, sometimes third, is Singles. Man, this was a great movie, and an even better soundtrack, which says a lot. This soundtrack is just full of, like, the peak of the Seattle sound. It's not all grunge, but it is an absolute time capsule for 1992. It is great stuff. Mine is a 2017 pressing. It sounds good. From what I understand, there are better sounding pressings of this soundtrack, so I may end up picking up another one eventually. But for my soundtrack, I went with Singles. Love this movie. Number 15, your highest recommendation. Of all of the albums I got this year, this one is probably my favorite new release. Is Slave, Bewitched, the Goddess Edition. It comes with a little board game in it. It is just a fun release. Plus, it is an amazing album. Beautiful baby blue. It really is. It is. It's modern jazz, modern throwback jazz. I don't even know how to describe it. She's in a class of her own, and this is a great album. So my highest recommendation is probably my favorite new release of the year, and it is definitely this one. Number 16, highest on your want list. Oh man, I have a pretty extensive want list, but one that has been on top or very close to the top for by far the longest. Duran Duran, The Wedding Album. It was 1993. I don't even know if there was an original U.S. pressing. They all go for crazy money, and if you can find one. And what I don't understand is Duran Duran has gone back and reissued all of their records, pretty much, with the exception of this one. I don't understand why. If anybody knows, please drop in the comments. This is one that I've wanted for a long time. It is a great record. It was really the comeback for Duran Duran in the 90s. And, man, yeah, it's still number one on my want list. A channel shout out. Man, there are so many channels. So many just great content creators out there that I watch all the time. For me, I decided to go with one that's, I believe, semi-local or at least regional. I first discovered them because they did a review on that Suddenly Tammy record I showed earlier, and talked about how they were from around here. So I'm guessing they're from the area. It's the K&B Music Den. You should definitely give them a follow. It's two guys talking music, and it's always interesting. So a silver lining in vinyl. There's so many. This has become, it started out as a small hobby. It's become a big hobby, and I can't stop buying records. I love buying records. I love listening to records. I love talking records. And I'd say the biggest silver lining is, I've mentioned him before, my buddy Hans. So I'm going to show this because, man, this sleeve is just absolutely devastated, and I know how much he loves messed up sleeves. Now, I kid, he actually would never even look at this record. But he's been a partner almost when it comes to buying records, because he's always looking for me. I'm always looking for him, and we get to hang out sometimes. And so anyway, I guess my silver lining is Hans, and I'm going to still point out how sleeves don't matter. Number 19, we got Steal of a Deal. For me, this year, it was another copy of Speak of the Devil from Ozzy. Picked this up on Facebook Marketplace for $10. It is in pristine condition. It is all but near mint. And I got it for $10. It just happened to be great timing. And yeah, I had to buy it. Even though I already have it, I had to buy it just in case I come along someone who needs one. And last but not least, number 20, show a promo. For this one, I went with my copy of Breaking the Chains by Dokken. This is a gold stamp promo. And also Canadian press. So I just thought it was neat. It's just an oddball. It sounds the same as all the rest of them, but it is a cool record, and I love Dokken. So yeah, Breaking the Chains, gold stamp promo. There's my promo. Oh, that's it. That was 20 questions. Vinyl tag's always fun. This is the first time I did the summer one. I definitely have not had a whole lot of time to do this kind of stuff. So this was a fun one for me to just be able to put together pretty quick. And hopefully you enjoyed it. I'm sure that there's going to be a lot more out there. And I think that you should watch everybody's vinyl tag. It's a lot of fun. And I guess till next time. And speaking of animals, an album cover with an animal on it. So I went with Alice Cooper, Killer. I'm gonna save that one.